Hey everyone, I'm Lee and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm basically going to be talking about the 5 characteristics my fellow Africans have that may be annoying and very hard to cope with. I'm just going to be talking about both the older generation and the youth generation. That includes me. Number 1, extreme toxic behavior my African brothers have towards like females. They will just approach you in the road expecting you to cooperate with them. If it happens to be in my country, you're walking in the streets, there will be like some gentleman behind you. Someone will just tap you in the back trying to get your attention. If you deny them access to like having a conversation, it just ends up like having them to insult you or having them pull your shirt or pull your skirt, like basically assaulting you in the road for like not allowing them to talk to you. There's like a feeling of entitlement when it comes to my African brothers. They feel like they have an obligation to just approach random girls in the street and talking to them. If you don't respond to them, if you like just give them an attitude like, you know what, I'm not interested in giving you my phone number or having a thing with you, it's like a crime, you know. You often feel unsafe, especially if you're walking in the street. I just want to say that I am being specific about Africans because I'm proudly African and I live abroad. When I came here, it's quite a shock that it's not even a thing. Men here have so much respect towards women, like they don't even dare, they don't even have the guts to approach women in the streets, ask them for their phone numbers or their Instagram. I do have friends in the neighboring countries, so we basically talk about all these things, and then you just find out that we are in different countries but we have common problems. Like here in Dubai, I've only been approached by African males who will just randomly approach you in the road and want to strike a conversation, want to get your number, want to get your attention. To me, it's just so toxic. I feel like they don't have respect towards their sisters. So number 2, the African community is extremely judgy when it comes to a girl child. They judge whether or not you're a wife material or a slay queen through the way you dress, which is not really fair because I don't know how dressing a certain way is a way to see whether or not someone can be a good wife material. It's super toxic that even like the old generation have this perspective towards girls. We have to always dress decently, cover ourselves, compared to when you look at like people in Islam, they dress decently, they're always covering themselves. How is it that we have companies that are manufacturing these nice and gorgeous clothes and we cannot put them on freely because we're going to be perceived a certain way? Basically toxic. And they also like judge how often you go to church. That's a way of knowing if this young man or this young female will make a good husband or a good wife, because you always have to prove that you are a godly, loving person towards the older generation, which I don't think it's fair because not everyone must, even though yeah, it's a good thing to go to church, but I don't think like it's good to perceive people based off how often they go to church. And I do know, because I'm a church girl, not everyone who's going to church is really going there because they're so prayerful or they're so godly mannered. My African people, my African village people are so nosy. Like they don't know how to mind their own business. They are always in other people's business. If it's like in town and then someone just screams "Mbava," you know, a thief, there's a thief, everybody will just start chasing that Bava down because it's so easy to get their hands on someone and just start attacking someone. They can't mind their own business. It's like their culture to always know what's going on, to always attend to drama. My African people have this toxic trait. If it happens that our neighbors are having a fight, instead of just going there and politely try to stop them from fighting, they will literally go there for drama, go there to record. Even in the streets, if you see people fighting, instead of trying to call the police to come and control the situation, for them it's a thing that they always have to record it so that they can post it later. Before you know it, it's all over social media. Like when I came in Dubai, I found out that it's even illegal to record someone when they are not aware. That's like a cultural shock to me, because in my country it's so common that you can just start a fight and people are going to come and jump in. You can't really do things on your own when there is nobody trying to poke their nose in your business. It's not possible. Not in my country and not in my African culture. And number 4, this is really, really toxic. Me being the female and me being raised in that certain way, now that I moved abroad, I know better for a girl child to be judged by the community, including her own family members, by the time they wake up in the morning. For you to be this ideal female version of yourself, you have to always wake up early, say around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to start doing household chores or going to the fields, which is not a bad thing on the other side of the coin, because I do know that it does create good habits. At the same time, for us females to be judged through the time that we wake up in the morning, I just don't think it's fair, because you can still wake up at 7 a.m. and be able to complete the household chores, be at work in time, depending on what time your work is starting. But for it to be a thing, you are known by the community, you are lazy just because you wake up at 7 a.m. And this is very common, especially like in the ghettos, because other houses are not gated. It's quite easy to know what's happening in my neighbor's house. When you move abroad, you find out that all of this does not even exist. My neighbor, I don't even know them like that. I think I've just seen them a couple of times. I have no idea what goes on in my neighbor. But in Africa, there is no way you'll be a tenant in a neighborhood and not be known for a certain thing. That's just toxic. And number 5, which is the last one, the fast mindset growth among youth, including myself. You find out that a video that was released a month ago is no longer trending today. In our youthly perspective, it's now outdated. If you compare it with the old generation, it's a different thing. The old generation still listens to music from the 90s. This rapid change is everywhere, be it in the music sector, the drama sectors. It's also there like in fashion. If we look at what's really trending today, it's actually different from what was trending a few months ago or last year. I just find it so toxic that we often have to live within these standards of always be updated, be up to the standards, up to the latest trends. The rapid change in everything, especially in our modern youth, there is now this thing of like gender equality. If you look at our old generation, such term never existed, because women are subjected to like certain duties. For example, the household chores are known to be a woman's duty, cooking for their husband, kneeling down before them while they're dishing their meals, including like waking up early as they can wake up, like around 4 a.m. so that they can make sure they make breakfast for their husbands before they leave for work, provide warm water for their husbands to bath. In our youthly era, they are now practicing this gender equality. The husbands nowadays now participating in these roles. They're now participating in making sure they help their wives with these duties. And also like in our modern generation, for us to know that you are classy / rich, you need to be having the latest iPhone, obviously, wearing fancy clothes, branded clothes, frequently go on vacation in fancy places, eating fancy food, attending to fancy universities, high-ranking universities, high-ranking schools. That's how our modern youth perceive each other nowadays, which is very toxic. As a girl child, you want to have a normal life, you want to live up to your own standards, not a certain way that many of us are now chasing after. I would say that my old generation generation was quite toxic, was quite hectic, but at the same time I do feel like because they didn't have the usage of internet, the pressure to live a certain standard was not applied at all, did not exist at all. If you look at the statistics of the suicides that are happening across our African nations, they have grown rapidly high. My phone ran out of battery, so I had to like quickly charge it, and I guess you guys can see that the quality will be a bit shaky. This practice is really so debatable because everybody obviously is entitled to their own opinion, but I do think that our current practices or our current way of doing it is quite toxic. As Africans, I do know that in like other countries it's normal, it's common, but I'm talking of us as Africans. The toxicity, I know that it's there everywhere, every country across the world. I'm just pointing out what the setup in my African nations is and was like. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, your loved ones. Before you go, please make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you can contribute to my growth here on YouTube, because this is a platform that I created with so much love and so much passion. I love you guys. Also, don't forget to comment down below so that I can know and engage with you guys. I will be sure to reply every comment, every engagement. I'll see you on my next one. I love you. Bye.